Hello, my name is Fabrice Bonvoisin, CEO and co-founder of H2 Power. This video will walk you through an introduction to the hydrogen economy as a source of clean energy. Also, a snapshot of the companies involved in hydrogen today.
So, what is hydrogen about?
If you ask anyone what the future of cars looks like, they'll probably tell you it's electric, and that Tesla is at the forefront of the movement. But what if I told you that there's another option that could be just as good or even better than battery electric vehicles? What if you could power cars with the most abundant resource in the universe, with water as the only byproduct? And they're more likely to disrupt the auto industry than battery-powered cars, like Teslas. Hydrogen fuel cells have been a technology of great promise, as well as great skepticism. Elon Musk himself often mocks hydrogen fuel cell technology, going so far as to call them fool cells and mind-bogglingly stupid. But major automakers still see promise. First, let's define the terms. Battery electric vehicles, or BEVs, are the electric vehicles that most of us are familiar with today, like Teslas. They use a battery to store electricity and power the electric motor. A hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle, or FCEV, like Toyota's Mirai, combines hydrogen with oxygen to produce electricity, which then powers the electric motor that drives the car. Now, when it comes to why people don't buy battery electric vehicles like Teslas, there are three main reasons. They take too long to recharge, they have a limited range before they need to be recharged, and they cost a lot more than your comparable gas-powered car. So, how do hydrogen cars stack up in these areas? When it comes to recharging, hydrogen cars have battery electric's beat. At a supercharging station, a Tesla can charge anywhere from 30% to 50% in 15 minutes. But you'll be at the charging station for over an hour for a full charge. Fuel cell vehicles don't require charging at all. The hydrogen tank is refilled at a hydrogen station in less than 5 minutes, just like your typical gas station today. That's because FCEVs don't store electricity like a battery. They create it on demand to power the motor. When it comes to range, hydrogen-powered cars seem to come out on top again. Between the three fuel cell vehicles on the road today, they have a range of 312, 360, and 380 miles. Most electric vehicles have a range under 250 miles. While some Tesla models offer a range of more than 300 miles, they often cost more than the average car buyer can afford. Range and refueling times are so important that 78% of automotive executives believe fuel cell vehicles will be the breakthrough for electric mobility. But that's not to say fuel cell vehicles don't have challenges of their own. FCEVs need more competitive pricing. The suggested retail price for the fuel cell vehicles available today is around $60,000, which is about $20,000 more than an entry-level BEV. That's because production size of these vehicles is incredibly low. With only a few thousand or few hundred being made every year, it's nearly impossible for prices to be competitive, but that could soon be changing. Automakers are looking to increase the production of their FCEVs. Toyota in particular has increased its production capabilities tenfold to eventually bring down the cost of its Mirai. The real challenge for hydrogen fuel cells is the lack of infrastructure. In the US, the majority of hydrogen stations are in California, with just over 40 available to fuel cell owners. For FCEVs to become the breakthrough that automotive executives believe in, a vast network for hydrogen stations is vital, and automakers are slowly working to make it happen.
We do get to work together with the other automakers, as well as with, here in California, the state of California and the industrial gas suppliers or whomever the energy provider is, to be able to site hydrogen stations where it makes the most sense for all of the automakers' vehicles. And so that's to try to make sure that any investment that we make is best leveraged by all of the consumers from all of the automakers that currently offer fuel cell vehicles.
If and when fuel cell vehicles scale, Tesla will have a tough challenge on their hands. They'll have to increase range while simultaneously decreasing recharging time and price. But Teslas, and any battery electric vehicles, are limited because of the law of diminishing returns. Increasing the range requires a larger battery. A larger battery will add more weight to the car. After a certain point, the added weight no longer yields additional range. With FCEVs, it's just a numbers game. More hydrogen stations equal more cars, and more cars equal more affordable fuel cell vehicles. Tesla has a lock on the zero emissions market in America, controlling a whopping 60% of the EV market. But that's still only 2% of the entire US car market. And those numbers decrease when we talk about the global car market. The only thing really holding FCEVs back is infrastructure. And as hydrogen stations become more abundant, Tesla could lose the majority of the zero emissions market. For a technology that's mind-bogglingly stupid, it has serious potential to become a real competition for the very same customers that Tesla's aiming for. So, Elon might want to take notice.
Yeah, so we have realized global warming very seriously today, and after the pandemic that we have to prepare better for the global warming. Well, with this action fuel cell truck, we want to show the people that the fuel cell is a present-day reality and not a technology for the future. So we will ship this every month from now on, 10 trucks to Switzerland. And yeah, as you said, 1,600 units by 25. Well, to show this now, many people are interested in hydrogen trucks because in truck, there is no alternative powertrain. Batteries will be too heavy for heavy-duty trucks above 34 ton. So I think fuel cell is the right technology for this.
There are still some key obstacles, though, for, I guess, a full adoption of fuel cells. One being the high cost of total cost of ownership, and then there's also the inefficient refueling structures. How do you overcome those?
Well, yeah, it is certainly a problem. Well, we have already mass-produced passenger cars in Korea, and we have already deployed 9,000 fuel cell passenger cars. But we are lacking fuel cell infrastructure. It is clear. But for trucks, it is for the logistics. And I think we can control the hydrogen station even better than passenger cars. By developing a fuel cell truck for the first time in this heavy truck area, well, we found many technologies to improve also. But I think, as you said, the most important thing is the hydrogen infrastructure for refueling.
Quantify that for us, Sehun. As long as the cost remains high, it is hard to get to mass market. When do you see that happening?
Well, many people says that the hydrogen fuel cell technology is expensive, but that is in the past. People are talking about technology 10 years ago. Now we have reduced platinum usage significantly. So let me tell you like this. We had our first Tucson iX35 fuel cell vehicle in 2013, which was the world's first fuel cell vehicle. And the cost by our second generation Nexo, what you're looking, we have reduced the cost in half. And our next generation system, before 25, will be halved again. So in average 6 years, the cost is coming in half and half. So this is, in the same line with Toyota's announcement also. And I think when we get to the critical mass, our target for production in 2025 is about 110,000 vehicles per year, then we will come to the critical mass of cost reduction.
So what is the hype about hydrogen? It's the most abundant element in the universe. Hydrogen is, as its molecular form, which is actually not the most common form, as a molecular form, It's an energy carrier. It's like a battery. It's its own battery. And that's the key. We can also use that, though, to capture that excess energy we talk about and the renewable energy. We can actually bundle that. And there are countries in the world that don't have the renewable capacity of New Zealand, that can't just go and generate, go and put up wind turbines, can't put solar up, can't build dams or use hydro. One of the things I really like, and pardon my poor animation, but this concept of a fuel cell is pretty exciting. So you effectively reverse the process where your hydrogen molecules and your oxygen molecules come together, and as they come together and bond and form water, an electric current's generated. So effectively that energy that you've stored in the hydrogen molecule can be turned back into electricity. And we can use that to power our vehicles. We can use that to power our ships. We can use that for all sorts of applications. Now the challenge was though, so this was great, it demonstrated that this technology can be used. It was going long ranges. It could take people from Vancouver. It would shuttle people around. It could go the ranges. But it suffered for some things. It was high cost. It was high cost. The infrastructure we needed to provide things was very expensive to build. If we think about the challenges we face there, it's a bit of a chicken and egg. So we want to get after this technology. In order to make it, I need the vehicles, for example, and I need a supply. I need to be able to connect the two, and all this is going to be difficult. The developments have started to change. So there's investments are coming. Germany is investing billions of dollars into hydrogen. Japan is moving to a hydrogen society. Korea is changing 26,000 compressed natural gas buses to hydrogen fuel cell buses over the next few years. There's true commitment, that the concept that we will overcome the cost. So hydrogen, when you use it in fuel cell, it's very quick to refill. So you can refill in 5 minutes, as I said. It's also very light. So if you're wanting to go a long range, you don't have to carry, for example, batteries. You can carry a much lighter payload, which brings your payload, your commercial payload back. And that becomes vital when it comes to trucks. So if you think of trucking, freighting, time is money and payload is money. So one of the barriers to getting electrification of our vehicles has been it's difficult to get the battery electric solution working for commercial and industrial applications where time is money and payload is money. So what we're able to do with fuel cell technology is really ride on the coattails of the battery technology and the electric drives that are coming out. And we can put these fuel cells in these vehicles. Really what's happened at the moment, the world has started to see this is it's the fundamental element, number one on the periodic table. This is an element we're going to need. We can use it to run our transport. We can use it to capture our renewable energy. It will enable renewable energy. It provides an amazing new change the economic threshold for renewable energy. We can use it to make our chemicals and products that society needs. But I think that's more than anything. We can really use this to take on that challenge that the world has finally realised we've got to get after. The leaders all around the world, the leaders in our country, the leaders in this room, I challenge you, we take on this technology and it is going to be a big part to play in building the future that we want for our children.
The transition to a hydrogen economy is led by manufacturers. Whether they are in hydrogen production, the manufacturing of components such as electrolyzers, hydrogen gas tanks, fuel cell systems, or others. With enough hydrogen stations in operations in a few countries, OEMs are now confident enough to invest in the production of cars, heavy trucks, buses, and light trucks. Every day, more applications around hydrogen are emerging, creating new jobs and intellectual property.